Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at this 2023 Lexus IS 350 F Sport. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Check out their website, that link is down in the description. So the F Sport behind me is finished off in caviar, and we'll go over the MSRP once we go over all the specs and features and get this out on the road. So let's start off with what powers this F Sport. This has a 3.5 liter V6 paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 311 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels. This weighs in right around 3,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds with a top speed of 143 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see 20 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 110.2 inches. Its overall length is 185.4. It has a width of 72.4, a height of 56.5, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.5 inches. And as we work our way to the exterior styling now for this 350 F Sport, let's start off with the hourglass design for the grille that has a very nice and distinctive look to it. You'll notice too that the Lexus badge is also the forward-facing sensor, so it doesn't break up the rest of the grille, and the forward-facing camera is placed just above that. So for the rest of this grille, there are parking sensors too, and plenty of cutouts to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. You'll notice that the surround for it is finished off in gloss black too, so we have pretty much a blacked out front end, which looks very clean for this. It also has some nice lines coming down the hood, meeting the point of that hourglass very nicely. You'll see that on both sides. And this even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with that crisp design for the DRL, along with all the bodywork surrounding it. It's a very sleek headlight housing, and it matches very nicely for this front end. You'll notice too there's some more parking sensors on each end, along with some more black trim, and then some large air inlets in the lower section. Everything finished off in gloss black down below too. Gives it a very classy appearance for this exterior. Now with this F Sport package, this gets a set of 19-inch wheels. They're 8.5 inches wide up front and 9.5 inches wide in the rear. Very nice black chrome design to them with that multi-spoke pattern. The F Sport badge is just behind that. This even has body-colored side mirrors with the integrated turn signal, a chrome trim piece, and the camera is just underneath that. It also has a sunroof, and then the rest of that window trim is chrome too, to match the chrome on that side mirror. And then for the lines for the side design, I really like the lower side skirt, and then it pops up to the rear fender arch there, and then there's one just at the height of the door handles, and then finishing up in the rear where this has a small trunk mounted spoiler. It also has a backup camera with LED taillights. There's all the parking sensors. This even has the dual exhaust and a few fins down in that lower diffuser. So with the exterior wrapped up, let's work our way to the cargo space where you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath. I can just push on this button and then lift it up the rest of the way. It is not a power operated trunk, but with that open, there is a lot of space for this daily driving sedan where you could place a lot of items, the spare tires up underneath the floor, and then you can even fold the back seats down as well. Now there is a little bit of a step, but it still gives you a lot more interior space to be able to use this for some larger items. And then there's one grab handle up underneath the trunk. It's very lightweight, so that is easy to close. And as we work our way to the back seats, the biggest surprise for this model is the solid red leather interior. Perfect combo with the exterior subtleness being black and then the full red leather. You'll see there's a little bit of a trim piece surrounding the window control, brush trim on that release handle. It has a 10-speaker audio sound system, and surprisingly, no storage in the lower section of the door, which is unusual to see. But the full red leather makes its way to the back seats, and at 5'10", I can easily hop into the back. Definitely plenty of room for my feet and my legs. There are storage pockets behind both front seats, so you can use those as needed. 2 air vents right in the middle. And then if you don't have a middle seat passenger, we have the armrest along with the cup holders that extend from the outer section there. And then you can get a look at visibility from the back, pretty open. So it provides you with a lot of light. And then as far as headroom goes at 5'10", my head is just up against the headliner, especially on this outer side here. But it's comfortable. It's not the largest sedan from Lexus, but I could be back here to ride around town if I needed to. Definitely plentiful for backseat passengers. And as we work our way to the driver interior now, you'll see all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, even the memory seating adjustments as well. You do get storage space for the front door panel and then that speaker, of course. F Sport is also an illuminating badge down on the door sill. Hopefully you can see that there. Very cool to see that. And the front seats have a nice design to them with the side bolstering support. They're also automatic, so all of those adjustments are down on the side. And it's a really easy car to get in and out of. Door opens up pretty wide too. And for this F Sport steering wheel, it has solid and perforated leather along with all the red stitching. On this left side, there's Bluetooth and voice commands, also tuning and volume for the radio. On the right side, you can see the lane keeping assist along with the forward sensor for the adaptive cruise. And then all of these will go through the gauge cluster. So let's fire this up. With that button on the right side, we can bring this to life. And looking at this gauge cluster, currently on the left side, you can see the engine temperature. On the right side is the fuel level, and right in the middle is the tach, along with some information within it that you can go through using these arrows over on the right side of the steering wheel. So currently it's showing miles per hour along with an average there. If I scroll down, you can look at range. There's even the gear position, TPMS, when the vehicle is warmed up enough, that will appear, of course. You can go between miles per hour and kilometers per hour. There's even a blank page, and then a few other vitals that you can monitor. And then if I push on the pages button, the entire tach will shift to the right, where now we can go through a little bit more info. Everything is pretty much the same. However, you can pull up a G-force meter, look at your gear position again. There's even that blank page as well. And now you can even scroll over, look at Bluetooth. You have your cruise and adaptive cruise you can monitor, any messages, and then a few settings that you can go into for some of the standard safety features and the sensitivity of everything, how you'd like it to alert you when you're out driving on the roads. Now this even has the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters finished off in that brushed aluminum. And then over on the left side, we actually have a lot of controls. There's a dimmer switch for the gauges. You'll notice a sunshade control too. That is for the back window. We have the automatic headlights. And then if I click on view, you'll see this diagram in the center infotainment system. And you can play and pause it, but it's showing currently what's around the entire vehicle. I can even change it to this full 360. And if you need to, like I said, you can pause it to see what's around it. Pretty cool to see that. Now, if I push on view one more time, you can actually just shut it off. So it's interesting to have that placement over here, but there's one air vent just above that. And then coming back to the infotainment system, it is currently on the home screen right now. And in order to use this, I'm going to use the trackpad down below, along with menu and a few other controls there. So if I click on menu right now, you can see the icons like audio and phone, apps. Projection is how you can pair your phone to this system. So you do have to have that hooked up in order to use it. But this is a touchscreen system as well, so you can go through all this info as needed. And then if I click on home, we are back to the split screen that you previously saw. So we have music along with some vitals here, and then you have the navigation when you have that hooked up. So not a whole lot of information, but it gives you everything that you need, including your climates that you can go into and monitor all of that information. It's pretty easy to use this system down below, just like you're using a mouse pad. So it's really not all that hard to go through. Now underneath that, you will see two air vents along with a clock right in the middle. And then all of the climate adjustments. So fan speed is right in the middle. Temperature bars are on both sides. This even has heated mirrors. We have the recirc and the rest of those controls. And then this even has a CD player right in the middle, power and volume and tuning, and then some more media controls are right in the middle. Now just underneath that, this does have heated and ventilated seats. So we have those adjustments on both sides. And then we also have the different driving modes using this icon here. So if I turn this to the left, that is for sport mode. You'll see the gauge cluster change to white and red. If I twist it to eco, it will just have red there. And by pushing on it, that goes into comfort mode. So just depending on how you'd like to drive this, there's also a snow mode. You can shut off and turn on traction control. There's the auto hold. And then looking at the reverse camera, we can put this into reverse, of course, where you have the top-down view as well as the backup camera with a few different angles, just depending on how you'd like to see it. You can also adjust the guidelines as needed. And when you put it back into drive, in order to activate the forward-facing camera, all you need to do is push on that view button again, and now you have the forward-facing with the top-down view, and you only get that one angle for the forward-facing camera. So it's nice that you still have that, which is great to see. You can pop it over and use the manual settings. So now we can use the shifter or the paddle shifters themselves. There are two cup holders on that right side. And then for the center armrest, if I just pull it up, you have a lot of auxiliaries and a good amount of space. So you can charge some more electronics down below. And then for the glove box, you have an ample amount of space for all of that information. Like I mentioned earlier, this does have a sunroof. So we have the manual adjustment for the sunshade, and then we have the control for the sunroof in the middle. This also has touch sensitive dome lights. Setting off now behind the wheel for this IS 350 F Sport. This is a $50,000 vehicle or sedan from Lexus. And for 50 grand, I think you're getting a pretty cool sedan. You're not getting one that has the most tech. I would like to see for the 2023 year model that we're in right now, it'd be cool to see the updated screen and a little bit more info that Lexus has started to incorporate in some of their other models. So this F Sport still has, I would say, the older screen by now with some of the newer screen and info that Lexus is coming out with. So if you don't want a vehicle that has a crazy amount of tech, this even has a CD player. Lexus is going for that demographics of people who don't want all those bells and whistles. And that doesn't mean that this car isn't good to get. 50 grand, it's still a luxurious sedan from Lexus that's going to ride and drive just like a luxury sedan should. It's not the most luxurious focused, but with the F Sport model here, you get a few goodies like the wheels, that if you want a little bit more of the suspension as well, you can get the F Sport package added to the 350. So now that we're out on the road with this $50,000 sedan, let's pop it into sport mode right now. And we can use these paddles here. We'll give it a small acceleration from third gear. And it's not crazy loud. I do wish that on the F Sport models from Lexus, they had an exhaust button to make it a little bit louder. But again, Lexus is more on that kind of refined side. Even more so than some of the other brands, not quite as sporty, but this is a great car nonetheless. It's so comfortable to drive, very, very quiet. There's hardly any road noise, any wind noise. It is truly a good daily driving type of sedan to drive. So of course, if you're gonna buy something and drive it every single day, you can't go wrong with this Lexus model. So we are still in sport mode, and the forward-facing camera automatically pops up when you come to almost a stop, which is pretty cool to see. And just like that, we are up to speed. And the paddles are pretty responsive. They're a good size too, so they're easy to use. And talking about the handling now, we're in the F Sport model. Let's take it around some of these turns as we downshift, pretty crisp on the downshifts. And we have rear wheel drive. Not a ton of horsepower for the F Sport model. I would like to see maybe a tune of some kind just to bump up the horsepower if you're going for the F Sport model. And still in sport mode, just a mild acceleration, and we're up to the speed limit just like that. So again, it's pretty adequate for the sedan that this is. And again, it's a little bit more luxury focused as far as your driving experience, not necessarily all of the technology, but for $50,000, I don't really think you're overpaying for this. You're getting into a Lexus, so if you've always wanted a Lexus model, this is not too far off of the average price of a brand new vehicle. So for the average price of a new vehicle in the United States right now, you can get into a Lexus that has a little bit more than what you would spend for about 45 grand is about the average for right now. And coming around these turns, just at a normal rate of speed, it handles well. So you could take it on back mountain roads. You could do a little bit of sporty driving with it, not necessarily a lot, but so far from what I've thrown at it, and I've been in the 350s before, it's a good handling vehicle while it's not highly performance oriented. So it's a good blend if you're looking for a style of vehicle like that. Super planted around that turn. It's fun to drive too, but again, I love how quiet this is. So for 50 G's, you're getting a very refined and luxury focused sedan. But I think that is going to wrap it up for this 2023 Lexus IS 350 F Sport. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Check out their website. That link is down in the description. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoy it. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.